The dew point is 61 Irrigus degrees at Fort Moultrie, South Carolina. On the Tiger Paw at the intersection of College and Magnolia, the temperature is 70 and the skies are gray with sadness. It's 58 and pluvial on Coronado Beach. Watch out for seals. It's 36 picturesque degrees at the summit of Mount Fuji, and at St. Margaret's Chapel in Edinburgh Castle, the temperature is 43. Here we go, baby. I'm still working on my Scottish accent. Please forgive me. And send me a little help. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good day to you around the globe. I hope this message finds you truly well and joyful. And it's not coronavirus central. I promise I'll only say that word maybe 3 more times. It is Friday the 13th, however. Do you care? Is that a thing for you? Does that bother you? Triskaidekaphobia. Does that bother you? I don't feel affected by it, but I feel like it's so deeply ingrained in the cultural milieu that we all observe some sort of avoidance of the number 13, although I was born on the 13th. It was Sunday the 13th. Do you have any weird, illogical absurdities? Or not so illogical and not so absurd? Anything weird that you do? That maybe borderline? I don't like the word phobia. I'm not afraid of the number 13 or anything else you want to attach a phobia to the end of. I don't fear it. Arachnophobia. I'm not afraid of spiders. I just don't want them on me. If you want spiders on you, you're a little weird, but hey, you do you. Like what you like. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. But I do have some oddities. I don't think, well, I'm not OCD. Absolutely not. That is a serious disorder that is not to be made light of. It is very difficult to deal with if you have to deal with it. But foibles, eccentricities, kind of something along those lines. Like avoiding walking under a ladder, opening umbrellas inside, that kind of weirdness. If you may or may not have picked up along the line, but for my vocation, my business, I am a professional photographer. I do a lot of photo editing, obviously, in the digital world, and there's a lot of sliders involved, little sliders that get certain levels to certain places, and for no reason that I can come up with, I don't ever put my sliders on odd numbers. No idea. Makes no sense. I don't have a reason. There's no background to it. Don't know why. I guess I just prefer even numbers. My favorite numbers are 4 and 22, and those were my numbers in sports growing up, so whatever you want to make of that. I do have a weird one, though. Here's a weird one. Or maybe not so weird. Again, who knows? The dishwasher. Are you with me on this one? It drives me insane. It seems kind of lazy, which I hate, but it drives me insane when folks load the dishwasher, the silverware, the flatware in the dishwasher in that little tray that holds the flatware upright down in the bottom, front, middle usually, sometimes over on the side. When people just start sticking them in the first 2 compartments because they don't want to reach back 2 inches. I have to go through and make sure I evenly distribute. Of course, you have to make sure all the knives are pointed down, but I have to make sure I evenly distribute every little, there's 6 of them, I think, in our dishwasher, 6 little boxes on the flatware tray. I have to make sure they're evenly distributed. Weird? I don't know. Also, when I'm washing dishes in the sink by hand, we have a little sponge holder on the side, before I put the sponge back in the sponge holder, we have this fabulous substance product drop here. Dawn foaming dish detergent. Absolutely spectacular. Anything that you can produce out there, world, to make my life just a little bit easier, I'm all for it. Anyway, you squirt a little bit of the foam on the sponge, you wring it out, you wash it out. Anyway, while I'm washing dishes, before I put the sponge away, I have to observe to see if there's anything else left in the sink, and if maybe I don't have a few extra seconds if I have to run. I'll make sure that I squeeze the sponge into the next dish. I mean, that just makes good sense to me. Doesn't seem weird to me, it just seems wasteful to do otherwise. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your weirdnesses like that. We're all weird in some way, and we should embrace and share it. So anyway, on this Friday the 13th, today's brewed beverage of choice for my relaxation is an unpretentious and delightful cup of honey vanilla chamomile herbal from the good folks in Colorado of Celestial Seasonings. You know, I know. It's not hoity-toity, high tea. It's not from some brand that I'm supposed to keep stocked in my cupboard. But it tastes good and I like it. And remember what I always say, like what you like. There's no need for unreasonable complexity. Keep it simple, stupid. Why make things complex when you don't have to? Food Network, come on, man. I love the Food Network. You watch these guys on there, it's whenever they're judging some of these chefs that are cooking, the chef will put a magnificent plate of food down in front of them that you know is just perfectly delicious, and the judges will say that, but they will take away points for not being creative enough or thinking outside the box or taking any chances. Pound sand, man. ZFG. Does it taste good? Then it really did its job, didn't it? I mean, come on. I mean, there's a reason that Bobby Flay wins all those competitions against people in their signature dishes, because he understands flavor balance and how to compose a dish, and it doesn't really matter how many ingredients you use or how crazy it gets. Does it taste good? Does it make you feel good? A few years back, Mrs. Here's a Thing and I were at a trendy little restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina, up in the neck. I will not use the name unless they want to pay me. But it was fine. Food was good. Anything trendy you got to beware of, because the youngs tend to make things trendy, and trendy tends to be boring, flash in the pan type stuff. But anyway, she was feeling a bit adventurous. I was not. I don't even remember what I had, but I do remember that I enjoyed my meal, so whatever. We will, however, always remember what she had, because she felt a little adventurous that day and thought, well, she'll go outside the box and order a little something that she maybe, well, not maybe, definitely would not have ever ordered otherwise. And my wife is wonderful like this. Very adventurous, very open spirit. So she proceeded to get what, I don't know, looked like the weirdest thing on the menu to me. It was some kind of duck parts, duck nuts, and I don't know, whatever it was, but she got it, and duck hearts, that's what it was. Duck hearts and feet or something. And she got it and slogged through it and soldiered on, rangered on, and was left the table thoroughly unsatisfied because the food did not taste good. I tasted it. It was gross. It tastes like most game, and more specifically game parts. It was kind of metallic and sort of mealy and icky. The technical term, icky. And it was, and you know what? Excuse me, pardon me for a moment, but who eats duck anyway? It's a duck. Your children feed them at the pond. They go quack. They're adorable. Have you ever seen a baby duck? And it doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good. I'm sorry. If you like it, eat it. Like what you like. I'm not here to argue that point. Anyway, the tea. Nice, as I said, satisfying, delicious, very comforting honey vanilla chamomile from Celestial Seasonings. Thanks to those good folks out there for providing a little comfort for me. And yes, I'm a very complex fellow. Honey vanilla chamomile tea. I mean, come on. I'm a stickler for good grammar and subject-verb agreement and capitalization and punctuation. How old school, how passé, how anachronistic. You know, I can stack up, breach, and clear a room. And, you know, I'm just a complex fellow. There's no pinning me down, but you know what? I think there are quite a few more of us than you might imagine. And probably quite a few more of us than will admit it. Come on, fellas. Well, I gotta do it. COVID-19. Coronavirus. Hunan. That's right. I said it. Bring it on. Anyway. Here we are, a million miles from where we were yesterday talking about things just starting to roll downhill. And now, well, pretty much everything's been canceled. Or postponed. And I don't want to get into all this again. We beat it to death, and you guys have heard enough about it, and it's Friday. Let's chill out. But it's out there, and I'll use a word that's hackneyed and abused and misused, but fits perfectly in this dawn of COVID. This is surreal. It seems like every rote thought, every sort of mechanical motion I take to run my business and my world, whether it's, you know, dealing with my daughter has SATs coming up. The SAT. It's tomorrow. Is that still going to go on? Don't know. We'll see. She has a job interview. Is that going to go on? Don't know. We'll see. Grocery store. Should I go outside? Oh my gosh. Should I panic? My clients. I have 3 weddings to photograph coming up in the next few weeks. We definitely are going to reach out to them, but what do we need to say? Are you guys flying in? These are all out of town? Well, two of them are out of town weddings, destination weddings. It's affecting everything, and it's amazing. But you know what? Hopefully all adults have some experience in the logistics of rearranging your schedule based on unforeseen and inconvenient circumstances. If not, you need to get out of your mommy's basement and go purchase a life. So everybody CTFO, back down off the ledge and just take a look at your schedule and figure things out. This isn't the end of the world. This is not Ebola. This is not sub-Saharan hemorrhagic fever. This is not the end of the world. It's the flu. It's a new kind of flu, new to us. And by the way, if you've seen the statistics, it's funny how everything will make sense if you take a step back and let it make sense. But the highest infection and death rates in the world right now are from countries that have, wait for it, you want to take a guess before I say it out loud? I'll give you a second. That's right, the highest percentage of smokers. The worst air pollution. I'll let you guess. So, I mean, it's just weird though. And you know what? Oh, another thing. I got a mailer yesterday from the Census Bureau looking for jobs. It's 2020. The census is coming up in the United States, so they got to have people go door to door and pester everyone and pry into their private lives and figure out what they got going on behind their doors. But are they going to take the census this year? I don't know. I've never really, in my life and my business, had to factor some sort of ecumenical pestilence into a contingency plan. But like I said, every step of my day, each thought is interrupted by, wait. How is this virus going to affect that? It's like I'm running dynamic training drills in the shoot house and little coronavirus cardboard cutouts are popping up everywhere. Final word on this. Everyone immediately stop freaking out. This isn't Ebola or nuclear fallout. You need to stop armchair quarterbacking the people who are occupying space in the broad spectrum of leadership roles for the difficult decisions they have to make and doing it on the fly. We, those of us in the U.S., are on the lagging edge of this. There are leading indicators and lagging indicators. If you've studied economics even on a tangential level, and we're lagging here, and things are going to catch up, and people aren't paying attention except to The Bachelor and crap like that, so it's going to smack them in the face. Things will get worse here, but again, it's the flu. Fever, cough, shortness of breath. Symptoms appear 2 to 14 days after exposure. High-risk folks are the elderly and somewhat small children and pregnant females, those are the groups whose immune systems are generally weakened by the stresses that their bodies are going through. But there is no evidence with this thing that it is disproportionately attacking any special group outside of folks with weak cardiovascular systems. So it's the flu. You gotta chill out. The greatest fear really is the fearful reaction of those lesser constituted to handle a large-scale stressor like this. Be smart, you guys. Know what you know and know what you don't know. And if you sense that you cannot deal with this situation rationally, look for a leader. And I mean a genuine leader, not the trailer park lawyer. And regarding the leaders, it really shouldn't be up to them to calm you and allay your fears. They provide info and make decisions. It's up to you not to freak out. Speaking of freaking out, I really want to share this with you, and I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this, but I hold a concept to be above reproach, and that is that everyone's neighborhood should be a peaceful sanctuary, a place of rest, a place of safety, a place where the little booger eaters can run around in the streets and not worry about getting mowed down. Well, my little neighborhood is growing, and as it has grown, certain people have moved in with a different sort of value set from me, and that's fine, except for when it comes to shared space. That's why we have no smoking spaces, because me not smoking doesn't make your clothes stink and get in your hair. Me not making any noise doesn't bother you. Yesterday, a man and his 2 children, young children, very young, were speeding, and when I say speeding, I mean probably 70 to 80 miles an hour up and down the street in the neighborhood upon which the speed limit is 20 miles an hour. And the vehicles, 4-wheelers, motorcycles, it was like being locked inside of a public restroom with nothing but tile all around you, and having 20 guys in there with chainsaws. This is our neighborhood. This is not a racetrack. Speaking of which, after Dad put away his motorcycle, he got his giant 4-wheeler out, and they proceeded to run laps at about 60 or 70 miles an hour around the block. Now, outside from the usual, I get blamed for being Mr. Cranky Pants, Mr. Stick in the Mud, when all I really want to do, yes, I'm get off my lawn guy, because I just want my neighborhood to be a peaceful place, and I've spent an awful lot of time and resources making it a nice place. But aside from the general assholery of running those motor scooters around the streets of our neighborhood, and we live in a enclosed, off, we're not on a main street. These are neighborhood streets, subdivision. Aside from that, my thought was, I can't believe this guy, this dad, is showing his kids not to raise their middle finger at the world and say, I'll do what I want, but showing them that that's not even a concept. We talk about cultures that don't have a word for stuff. Well, these kids aren't going to have a word for asshole. These kids aren't going to understand that there is such a concept as dignity, grace, and coexistence. When someone runs their butt up the flagpole for doing something stupid, they're going to end up getting shot dead or in a fight or hating their neighbors or whatever else because they don't understand why there's a problem. And that bothered me. Folks, keep your neighborhoods peaceful. Share the space. Be gracious. Be grateful. And try to keep the place as livable for everyone as you can. Pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, that's enough of that mess. I will close the week down by talking about the Here's the Thing patron program, which I just got up and running yesterday. And I just want to reach out to you and say thanks for everything. And if it's within your means to do so, if you enjoy the show and want to help keep it going, because this ain't cheap, it ain't free. I'm not looking to make a living off of this. I'm just looking to help defray the cost. But if you want to contribute $1 or $1 billion, I'll take that too. I would love to have it. And you can do that by, if you go to the show website, which is here'sthething.podbean.com. There's a Become a Patron button up in the top right-hand corner. And also you can go to patron.podbean.com/here'sthething. And I certainly do appreciate that. And we got folks from everywhere. Looks right now, we've got, of course, the United States. We've got the United Kingdom. By the way, you guys in the United Kingdom, shoot me a line on Twitter or Facebook or email and let me know where you're listening from. The United Kingdom, of course, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and whatever else I might be missing. I want to know exactly where you are. It doesn't tell me. And we got a big group in Belgium. We've got Ireland, Australia, Canada, Spain, Romania, the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, baby, Denmark, Nigeria, Portugal, Vietnam, on and on and on. And I really want to thank you guys for being out there, and we keep growing every day. And here in the United States, we've got, I know this is scintillating listening, isn't it? Michigan, Georgia, California, North Carolina, Vermont, New York, South Carolina, Texas, Alabama, Colorado, D.C., Massachusetts, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Texas, and on and on. And also at the very end of that, it says others on my stats. And I'd like to know what those others are, because there's a bunch of them. If I haven't called out your state to thank you, then drop me a line. Let me know where you are. I'd love to hear from you. It's at Here's the Thing 1 on Twitter. Here's the Thing on Facebook. Here's the Thing podcast on Instagram. Here's the Thing at yahoo.com. Reach out. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how you're feeling. And as always, I know I say this at the end, but if you could, on whatever platform you listen to the show, take a few seconds and click that 5-star rating and leave a 2 or 3 word review. Show is good. It really helps get us up the charts, especially on the dreaded iTunes, Apple podcast that dominates the world. But I'd really appreciate that. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and we will gather again next week. I know for some of you it's Saturday across the international date line already, but I want you to have a joyful and spectacular weekend. And remember, authenticity, like what you like. And that's enough triviality for now. Here's to a joyful afternoon wherever you are and whenever 4 o'clock comes round to that place. Here's a Thing can be found on the Podbean app. Here's a Thing at podbean.com, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, now on Spotify, and lots of other places in the podcast universe. For virtually effortless podcast enjoyment in your home or on the go, simply ask your disembodied AI robot servant to play Here's a Thing from your preferred podcast consumption platform. Alexa, play Here's a Thing. Hey Google, play Here's a Thing. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Your active support is critical, so click that button. It only takes a moment to make a difference. Become a patron by clicking the Become a Patron button at the top of my page. I appreciate your efforts. Let's keep growing the family by sharing the episodes. And speaking of which, welcome to the family, United Arab Emirates. I wonder if that's a contractor in Dubai. So glad to have you. Thank you for your time and devotion to reason. And as always, be authentic and like what you like. Let no one control your space. And find a way to elevate the world around you today, tomorrow, all weekend, and the rest of your life.
Hi guys, Macy here. Thank you for tuning in to the show and listening to my lovely, adoring, funny, handsome, amazing father. Please tune in for the next show when it comes out. I don't know when it comes out, but it comes out soon. Bye. It's the end of the show. Continue on with your life. That was horrible. Oh my gosh.